When you think of a superhero, what do you think of? Do you think of Batman, Spider-Man, Iron Man? The film industry today has revitalized comic book characters and the way we look at them. For example, if I come into my son's room, there are comic book toys, t-shirts, costumes, and he even has comic book wall art. When you think of comic books, you think of DC and Marvel, which DC is Detective Comics. They're responsible for Batman, The Flash, Superman. And Marvel, you think of Thor, Iron Man, Hulk, Spider-Man, and even Captain America, which are members of the Avengers. And then other notable Marvel comics are the Fantastic Four, X-Men, and all of these, actually, Stan Lee has created or contributed to in some way, shape, or form. Stanley Martin Lieber was born December 28, 1922. His parents are Romanian immigrants, Jack and Celia Lieber. They lived in New York, New York. His father was a dressmaker who really struggled through the Great Depression, and this brought Stan pretty close to his mother, Celia. He also had a younger brother, Larry Lieber. Stan needed an escape from his life. They lived in a one-bedroom apartment with 4 people. He slept on a couch, so he was an avid reader. He also liked to read, write, draw. All of these things were free, so he could do it anytime he wanted to. His mother would joke that if there were nothing else on hand to read, he would read Ketchup Bottles, Gitlin 2010. He also found solace in riding his bike. Stan was an award-winning author at 15. He entered a student contest held by the New York Herald Tribune. It was called The Biggest News of the Week. Many times, the top 7 won cash prizes. Stan placed 7th once and had 2 honorable mentions, Gitlin 2010. At 17, Stan graduated high school and could not afford to go to college, so he began doing a bunch of odd jobs to help his family out. And family connection, I believe it was a maternal uncle, knew somebody who got him a job at Timely Comics, where he was essentially running errands with the hope of writing comic books one day. He really had no idea what a career he would have, but what really drew him to Timely Comics was they were getting ready to release a Captain America comic series. So Stan decided to form a pen name, which was Stan Lee, because he thought maybe later in life he would need Stanley Lieber for a career with novels or books, so he would be taken seriously. Shortly after starting at Timely, he wrote for Captain America Series number 3, and then Pearl Harbor happened, and he enlisted in the Army. He was in the communication division. He wrote and illustrated manuals for troops to use in the field. He actually never left the United States. According to Stan, he was one of only 9 listed as a playwright in the Army at this time, Wikipedia 2016. When he returned to Timely, he was named editor-in-chief. He married Joan in 1947, and they had 2 daughters, Jan and Joan. Joan died in infancy. Timely transitioned to Atlas at this time, and then later they transitioned to Marvel Comics. And due to Stan's success and work ethic, he made the transition each time. In the 1960s, Stan was given some creative freedom, and it was much needed. He was actually ready to quit his job at this time. That creative freedom allowed him to create the Fantastic Four, which made Marvel competitive with DC's Justice League. And then after that, they let him have even more freedom, and he went on to create the Mighty Thor, the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, and X-Men. He collaborated with Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko on a number of those, so there's a lot of question on who's responsible for it, the writer or the illustrator, so they both get credit. Stan is currently still alive at 93 years old. He's yet to retire. He lived in New York from 1922 until 1980 when he moved to Los Angeles for Marvel's film venture, which didn't do very well. He creates, writes, and imagines for his current company called POW, and they have a contract with Disney, I believe. He was honored with the National Medal of Arts by President Obama in 2008, Gitlin 2010. He has a good relationship with Marvel despite the lawsuit over royalties. In 2003, I believe, the first Spider-Man came out and they did not include him in that, so he won the lawsuit. He is still very friendly with them, does autograph signings. He's actually an honorary board member. He has no favorite character of all that he's created. He likes them all equally. He's an executive producer of Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now. And he has changed his legal name to Stan Lee. And he actually makes cameos in all the current Marvel movies that started with Iron Man in the early 2000s. And people have grown to expect his cameos and enjoy his cameos. And they really look forward to it because he's the person that started it all. Stan continues to create and imagine even into his 90s. He once said, "Our goal is that someday an intelligent adult would not be embarrassed to walk down the street with a comic magazine. I don't know if we will ever bring this off, but it's something to shoot for." Stan Lee, 1968, Gitlin, 2010. I believe that Stan has accomplished this. He has helped and lived to see it. When I see a 3-year-old wearing a Captain America t-shirt, and then I see a 30-year-old standing beside him wearing the same Captain America t-shirt, that really reflects this.